Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Pinbolls versus Pinball, and we're here tonight with a little bit of a special gameplay. I recently was loaned an Eye of the Tiger, and I think it's going back to its owner tomorrow, so I was like, this would be pretty bad if I didn't try to stream it. Eye of the Tiger is the more rare version of Sinbad. I think there was about 100, or I'm sorry, 730 of these made for the two-player version. And then Sinbad is the same exact game with a little updated rules, and it's the solid state version. This is electromechanical, as you can see by the reels on the back glass. And it's got a little bit different art package, the same, pretty much the same play field. But what we're going to do tonight is play Eye of the Tiger, so I can have a stream with it, so I can look back fondly and remember Eye of the Tiger. And then we'll switch over to Sinbad and check that out. It's going to be quiet. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear the chimes. I think you will be able to. But there's not music, so this is going to be a very quiet stream with just me filling in the sound. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and play Eye of the Tiger. So the goal, just explaining, is to get down. Ah. And there is a key difference between these two pens that I have. I'm actually interested to maybe while I'm doing this recording, I'll look it up on Penside because the solid state version, Sinbad, has the peculiarity that I'm interested to see if it was supposed to or if someone just got tired of Sinbad wrecking them and put it in. Alright, so this is a really good ball. The point of oh, that could have been great, but it wasn't. So a couple things on this Sinbad, the EM version of Sinbad, Eye of the Tiger, is you want to hit down, and I'll use my little markers on here. You want to get down this drop, which is one drop, then you go to two drops, and then the three drops, and then the four drop bank, and that's the goal. You can also hit this big white thing in the middle. That's actually one of the big Gottlieb spinners. So you can hit that, and then increases your bonus, which your bonus is tracked down here. And you'll see some differences between Eye of the Tiger and Sinbad. But the main thing is on certain balls you'll get double bonus. I don't know if that's controllable or if it's something that just happens when you collect a certain number of the drops. So, but there's a little bit of different strategy on both of them, and I'll explain some of the. Ooh, that was rough. So we'll play a few games of Eye of the Tiger, maybe like 2 or 3. Try to get some good solid scores on it. It is not an easy pen to play. But kind of the allure of the older. Ooh, got lucky there. Got lucky again. Are we going to survive it? Yep, okay. Don't kill. Oh, should have flipped. Did not flip. Like all EMs, it's 5-ball instead of 3-ball. I think you can turn 3-ball, and I think the scoring might change a little bit. Oh, I could have saved that. Alright, so 50,000, not the greatest. One of my buddies came over here and played this, and he put up, let me check real quick. I wrote it on the Team 1 game. He put up 129, so he rolled it. I think my best effort on this game was like 101, so I barely rolled it, but he wrecked it. And that was like his, oh crap, that was his first game stepping up to it. Probably should have checked to see the audio level on this before I recorded it, but this shouldn't take too long. So if we lose everything, it's fine. We can always re-record because these games are quick when I'm playing it. So we'll do our best to try to get some quality games of at least one quality game. Preferably where I beat my buddy's score, and then I have it on video evidence despite the fact that it only took him one try, and it will take me a multitude of tries. Alright, we need to get that single drop down, but this on the EM version, he was nailing the spinner and building his bonus. Alright, that was good. We'll take that. Almost lost that. Or did I lose that? Okay, we're one away from... We got some stuff lit up. Oh, and those are called scissor flippers. Gottlieb scissor flippers, unlike other games like Big Game, I think, and I think Space Invaders has a scissor flipper on one side. This game does not give you any reprieve from if the ball scissors on you. Alright, so we're creeping up on our 50K. That 50K seems to be our max right now. Got some pops. We'll take that. Got a spinner. I think one of my bonus lights is out, so maybe more than one of them's out. Alright, so 52-2. Not great. We'll do one more game on this, and then we'll switch over to the solid state version, which is Sinbad. Alright, we're putting our try-hard pants on now. We're going to try really hard to make this happen. Ooh, almost scissored. Alright, we'll take the 1,000. Thank you. If you could just stay up there forever, that'd be great. Oh, crap. It says same player shoots again, so somehow we managed to get an extra ball. Try hard pants are on. And we'll see what we can do here. But yeah, I don't think I would have been happy with myself if I didn't make myself come down here, regardless of how late it is, to record old Eye of the Tiger. Ooh, we almost got that one drop. Oh. Well, that's good. Like, we'll take that. This is 5,000 on the way out. We'll definitely take that. So, I'll try not to get a house ball. When this thing first got moved down here, it was destroying me. Okay, so we got the 4 down, but we're not really. Okay, so we got 2 more. So it seems like each set of drops we get down, we light a new thing up top. So let's keep an eye on that. We got 2 up there. I think we got 1 light out, so that's a common theme. Okay. Ugh. See if we can get... We need that 1 on the 3 bank. We got max bonus right now. So building the bonus doesn't really matter. I got a little insert crap on there. So this is ball 3, which double bonus is not lit automatically, which I thought it might be. So that's something new that we're finding out. Try to get that one. Yep, there we go. Sniper. Oh, there we go. Got an extra ball lit up there, so that would be huge if we can get up there. Oh, we could have saved that. Tilt does not end game on this. It's not a wedge head. So you're able to do a little bit with it. Now, I don't know if those, I don't think those stay lit. They don't. So if you lose them, they're just gone. So if you fail to collect what you've what you built up, you're kind of starting over at the every ball. It's kind of the fun is you have to do everything in one ball on these old games. Or older games. It's not the... Oh! We had a chance. Alright, so our 100K lit. Looked like it lit prematurely, but I don't think it did. Alright, so we're in striking distance, but this is by no means a guaranteed thing. we could get houseballed right here. Let's go up there. Okay, we're getting closer. Oh, come on, don't take this from me. Oh, come on. Oh, oh, that should have knocked that down. All right, I think we got it. All right, so we got the 129, which is not easy to do. We'd like to go up top and really pour it on, but we're not going to get the chance. So that score is 143,600. So that's our best effort. That's the new high score on Eye of the Tiger. We're going to go ahead and pull this back. So bear with me for the motion. Make sure to get my cord out of the way. I have one cord, which is the network cable that keeps me live. So now we're over on, and it probably looks pretty similar, right? This is, I'm gonna turn, which one are we seeing back there? I think we're seeing that one. Yeah. So I'll turn that to the side. I'm just gonna readjust this camera because it's a little bit of a different angle for the solid state. Trying to, it'll be at a weird angle because I'm trying to keep it out of the frame of my player cam, which I'm not doing right now. But we'll do that. It's not the best angle, but at least it's mostly out of the player cam. Oh, now it's tilting down. Not cool. All right, good enough. Good enough for what we're doing here. So this is solid state, Eye of the Tiger. It's called Gottlieb Sinbad. There are a little bit of differences in the rules. Over here, you'll see, well, if I would have done it right. Over here, you'll see 5x, 4x, 3x, 2x. What that is tied to the drop targets that we saw on the first game. So you get this 1 down, you'll get the 2x. You get these 2 down, you'll get the 3x. You get these 3 down, you'll get the 4x. And if you get all 4 of these down, you'll get 5x. So what happens if you don't have the 1 down and you get the 2 down? You get 3x automatically, right? No, you don't. You have to get them down in order, or else you won't be awarded them. The spinner still advances bonus. And what else? Oh, instead of 5 ball, this one is 3 ball. So typically EMs, 5 ball. They're traditionally played on 5 ball. Solid states, which are digital scores, so you don't see any reels up here. They're usually set to 3 ball. So this is going to be quite the endeavor we're going to go on here with some Sinbad. So the other thing that I'll add is this game, as you can see there, has 4-inch leg levelers on the back. So it is super steep. And the other thing that I forgot to point out real quick is there's a center post on this game. And given how the artwork is in, I think that somebody was being a big old baby and put that center post in there. So if I find that to be true, doesn't seem to be open right now. If I find out that's true, then what I'll do is go ahead and just pull it out. That was 3 balls? Jeez. Alright. That was rough. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try to do, I think my best is like 92,000 on this one. I think EMs are the one exception that that steeper pitch does make it more difficult. Whereas on more modern games, I feel like the steeper pitch can make it more, difficult. But it's difficult because the game is not shooting as intended, because the layouts are much more complex on newer games. So they were designed with a specific geometry in mind, and that's supposed to be the way that they're supposed to shoot to hit certain shots. Oh, scissored myself on both of them. So a lot of people like to, you know, increase the pitch on their newer games, and like, oh, I play tough. I'm on like 9 degrees. Well, the game wasn't designed to be played at 9 degrees. So most likely what you're doing is just not making shots because the geometry's off. Okay, so we got the 1 and 2 banks down. So we still, if we would have got the 3 bank, that last drop down, we would have got 4x. So that's game over. Again, this is only 3 ball, so plays a little bit more tough. The other thing is, in the event that a miracle happens and you get all of the drops down, another difference is on the solid state version, you're not going to, or the solid state version, shoot. Yeah, there we go. We clipped that one target. Got our 2x. And I'm going to try to hit them out of order just to show you that you won't get the 4x by knocking down the 3 targets first. You won't even get 3x because it requires you to do them in order. So in order to get the 4x, I have to collect the 3x first, which I just did. So you see it jump from 3x to 4x immediately. So we're doing pretty well on our bonus. I did not level these, so could be a slight lean one way or the other. So now I want to get back up top, and I also want to get those 4 drops down. So I need 3 more, and that'll get us 5x, which is huge. So we're going to get some pretty good bonus. We're getting 4x times 9, I think, so 36, 32, sorry. So this is the last, oh no, this is ball 2, so we're doing okay. All right, so there we go, and we're going to get houseballed. Well, we should have been houseballed there. I'm pretty sure that that middle post is not supposed to be there. And if it's not supposed to be there, I'm going to remove it. So there's no penalty for hitting out of order on this, but you won't collect it until you collect the other ones in sequence. Alright, so this is our best game so far. Sorry for the camera down on the bottom. I was trying to get it out of the way, but like I said, it's late here, and I'm just trying to get a video of this game before, or Eye of the Tiger, before it leaves. Sinbad is mine, so Sinbad for the moment is not going anywhere. But much like every other pen in, you can't call it a collection, just call it Pinbolls Pinball Foster Care Program. Okay, so 136, and we got a shoot again, so we got an extra ball somehow. I don't really know. Maybe we reached the replay value for this, but the GC on this, because it does save high score on this, is like 400 and something, and we're just not mentally there yet. We're not getting those type of points. But I'm gonna take a quick second. I'm gonna pull up Penside and see if we have if I can pull up a playfield pick and see if there's actually a middle post in there. I am almost certain that there's not a middle post in there, but I'm going to try to find a playfield pick real quick. And there is not a center post. Sinbad is meant to be a diabolical game, and that's fine, because these older games were meant to take quarters. They're not meant to feed your ego. So what I'm going to do is a little pinball maintenance during this recording, and hopefully this is not too annoying and doesn't take too long. But I'm just going to move this out of the way. So it'll be what it'll be for a second. You'll see different part of my basement. I'm going to grab the keys out of here. And I think they're the same key. Hopefully they are. Thank you. Oh, it does have a coin box. You do have a coin box. Yes. Very nice. Alright. Got that old pinball smell, which I've kind of grown fond to. Since we're going to be messing around under the playfield, I'm just going to turn this off for now. Just in the event that something happens, some metal touches something else that it's not supposed to touch, and then Sinbad gets sad and stops working. But this shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this middle post. I'll just have to find the right tool to do so. So get that out of there. I could, like in the interest of time, I could have just took that rubber off and probably accomplished the same thing. But we're already here, so we might as well open up the hood. And this thing is gorgeous inside. That is phenomenal. It looks really, really good inside the cabinet. That is surprising how nice that looks in there. So what was I doing? Ah, crap. The beauty of the inside of the cabinet got me. I'm gonna go grab a tool real quick, and we're gonna get this little pesky center post out, because we're not supposed to have it in there. And if it's not supposed to be in there, we're not gonna use it, because we're gonna play this game how it was intended to be played, which is absolutely being a diabolical mess. So I got that. This is a little bit tall for me because I'm short, so I might have to step around. I'm sure this is enthralling for all of you to watch. Probably sitting there on YouTube like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So much fun watching this dude do nothing with camera out of angle and not anywhere where he's supposed to be. But it's pretty simple. It's just well, of course it's pretty tight in there, so we're going to have to clamp onto top and back this out. But once we get it going, we should be able to get it unscrewed. But we'll take our time. We're not going to mess anything up. No point in doing that. Get this center post out of here. Don't need a center post. I'm going to try a different tool. Much like everything, if you have the right tool, everything goes a lot smoother. The problem is, I don't know if I have the right exact tool for this. But we'll look and see if we have something that might work. If we don't, we'll just go back to the pliers and make it happen. So that one doesn't work. What about you? Will you go far enough down? Nope, you won't go far enough down either. I don't think this one is either. Alright, we're relegated back to our pliers. So bear with me. There's a little bit more of a delay than I wanted, but it is going to be okay. There we go. I think we got it loose enough to where I can start. Yeah, there we go. And the other thing that's cool about Sinbad is it still has its, I think you can see it down there, still has its chime unit, which actually while I'm down here, we're just going to do all the pinball maintenance today. So I got a few things that are just down here that we're just going to get out of the cabinet. Sorry if I made a big noise with that. Got a scorecard. I think we got another scorecard. Yeah. Alright, cool. So I got those out of the way. I'll put those down there. I could put those on the the actual thing, but I'm not going to because there's already one on there for the score. Okay. Sorry, I had to do a battery change on my mic. Sorry if you hear my wife coughing in the background. She's had a nasty cough for a couple days, but she's seems to be getting a little bit better now. All right, so we'll put the glass back on. Get our lockdown bar back on would be a good idea. All right, so that should be there. Put that in there. Get it turned back on. Get us realigned. Cool. Maybe. I don't know what moved this camera over. There we go. That should be good. And this is going to drive me crazy. Cool. Good enough. All right. So we have no center posts. We have a big old hole right here that's beautiful looking now. I hate it, but what are you going to do? Someone decided that instead of getting better at pinball, they were going to brutalize and cut a hole in their playfield to make it a baby game. So that's fine. We're up to 3x. The game is respecting our decision to change it back to the way it was intended, and it's letting us play more because it realizes that a real pinball player is playing now. It doesn't need a center post. Okay, we have a few more to get. Ooh, see, we don't need a center post. We are the center post. Oh, could have used that center post. But I think so what they typically did in this period where they were going from from electromechanical machines with reels to the solid state is they usually would add a little bit to the rules. I mean, there was differences in rules, like with the Add-A-Ball versions on EMs and stuff like that. But this is a lot different in that the way the drops are associated with your 2x bonus multiplier, your 3x. It's more skill-based rather than a lot of the EMs you would get, like, it wouldn't be a skill-based issue to get your double bonus. It would just be typically on ball 3 or ball 5 of the game. It would give you double bonus. So you just had to hope that the game was in a good mood and that it was going to give you a chance to actually shoot and hit the ball on on the double bonus balls, because that could really set it apart. It's not to say that the EMs are any less skill-based. It's just I think that specific component of it, you're kind of at the mercy of the machine on whether or not it wants to allow you to shoot. So I think we have this one. Yep, there we go. So we're so far so good. We just need to get these 4 down up there. Ooh, could have got lucky and got that there. Oh, we could have saved that. So we had a really good bonus there. We got up to the 4x. We were having some pretty good luck. So this is a very bonus heavy game. So if you can get your drops down, and then build your bonus, you are going to be having a much better time than if you fail to get these drops down. Ooh, don't you do it. All right, there we go. So the scores really haven't changed. If anything changed, it's my respect for this pinball machine, because now it doesn't have a little baby post in it, and we can actually play and do great things. Sorry, look like I'm in the dark side, but it's fine. You're not missing much. We'll play one more game on Sinbad, and then we'll switch back over to Eye of the Tiger and do like a little farewell run on it. And then that way, what I can do is I can upload after the pin maintenance, or I can upload it uncut. Who knows? But just know that if you don't see a game with the center post in, that means that I already removed it on this. Oh, that was an unfortunate drain. Looked like we had a post that needed to be tightened down there too. So we're on ball 3 with 15K. Feels great. Just kidding. Oh. I got this game from a guy up in Northern Virginia. He's Jackpot Joe, and typically we'll do one more game on this while I explain this story about where I got this pinball machine. But I got it from Jackpot Joe. He lives up in Northern Virginia, and typically he doesn't deal with games of this type, right? Jackpot Joe does restorations for customers, typically. Some of them just LED restorations, some of them full restorations that include cabinet painting, and re-stenciling and re-decaling if it needs decals or whatever. But does basically really good work on just redoing pens and making them look like they're new. But usually he deals with the more newer pens, so I was actually kind of surprised when he listed this one for sale. I was like, why the heck does he have a Sinbad? But maybe he had a concussion or something. Because you may have seen him at PinFest this year, and he had his, I think, Simpsons Pinball Party and his fishtails up there. And they are not cheap. So, but I think he sold both of them already, and it's moved on to the next project. I think he's doing another Simpsons for a customer. And he also had something really cool there. I don't know if he cares that I'm telling the tens of followers that I have. But he also had a Cubert's Quest, which I hadn't seen in person in a long time. It's a very rare pinball machine. He was a little bit disappointed when I said I saw one before. But it's still really cool. Anytime you get to see a Cubert's Quest, it's pretty legit. But Joe's great. He was great to deal with. He helped me prep the machine to get it loaded and all that stuff. And generally always nice to talk with him and see him. I don't get to see him that much because I don't go up there that often. But it was still fun to get to interact. I tell everyone the pinball hobby, or not hobby, but the pinball community at large is a very small group of people that you will constantly run into over time, right? Like you'll run into the same people. So it would behoove you to keep a good reputation. Well, oh look, that lines up pretty well. We can just cut and go. So it behooves you to keep a good reputation in the community, because most likely the person that you're dealing with today knows someone that you'll be dealing with tomorrow, and if it starts going around that you're not good to deal with or whatever, then you're going to have a hard time in the community navigating it and purchasing things. Not that it's impossible. I'm not saying that like there's gatekeepers in the community. It's just it's a very niche hobby, so you want to maintain a good relationship with everyone. Really, it doesn't matter. You don't want to get involved in the pinball drama. you just want to enjoy the hobby and treat people fairly, and then you open up your options a lot more for where and when you can find games. Especially with how I enjoy this hobby. I buy and sell all the time. I don't sell with the intent of just trying to get the maximum amount of dollars out of somebody. I try to get the machines for a fair price, and then when it comes time to move on from them, I can get a fair price in return. That's my main goal with pinball. And then every once in a while, you'll get a machine from someone that's, you know, not in the hobby, and maybe you get a little bit better deal on it. Not that you're hustling them, but it's just some people don't care, and they're like, no, I just want this gone. I just don't want to deal with anybody else. I'm sick of answering all the questions. But sometimes you can make a little bit of money. Other times you're not going to. You're just trying to minimize your loss, especially when, you know, I buy and sell so frequently that, you know, that's great if some people are playing the investment game on these and trying to maximize their value out of these games. But the reality of the way that I'm doing this is that I don't have a game long enough for market conditions to change significantly. Crap, that sucks. So it's unlikely that this, you know, I'm selling a game sometimes a week or two after I get it. And the most frequent question I get is, why did you buy the game in the first place if you were just going to sell it in 2 weeks? I buy them to learn the rules, and I don't know what I don't like yet in pinball, which may seem strange, but I don't know what my preference is in pinball yet. I know as a competitive pinball player, I need to experience a bunch of pinball machines. Is it necessary for me to own older pins like this? Probably not. Like, could I go into a tournament and pull up, you know, a guide and figure it out pretty quickly? Yeah, I could do that. So the older games, you don't really need to do that, but some of these older games, you do need to play a little bit to find out when you're in trouble before you're in trouble, if that makes any sense. So in some of these older games, you're dead before it gets down to this lower play field. Was that the whole game? That was rough. All right, let's do another one, and I'll tell one last. We'll probably have to do a few more to get through this story with how long it's been taking me to tell a story. But while I was up there after I picked up Sinbad today, I went up to Ocelot Brewing Company, or Ocelot Brewery, I don't know. But they typically have like the newest games, and the way they set up and maintain their games very well. And it's just fun to go up there and play, because their games are set up to be fun and to have a good time playing them. So it's really enjoyable to go up there. But I went up there for a specific purpose this time. I wanted to play Harry Potter, because they have a Harry Potter CE on location. You know, bless them for doing that. They don't have to do that. But it was really, that was kind of the main reason I went and bought Sinbad, is to have an excuse to go up there to play Harry Potter. I'm still waiting on my Harry Potter. Hopefully it will get here sooner than later, but I'm patiently waiting. I haven't bugged Zach from flipping out in like a day and a half, which is, I think, a very solid effort on my part. Man, both of these games, their pops are spectacular. They fire so well. Oh, crap. Alright, but we'll do one more game and I'll tell you a few thoughts. So, playing Harry Potter, I kind of wanted to hate it, so I didn't have to spend the money on getting the arcade, or like so I could like get Harry Potter, and then because I had it early, I could trade it for something else that I wanted more. But I played it today, and you know, kind of horrible, but it was actually good. It was actually good. It was enjoyable. I think one of the main issues that happened today that I noticed is, or I guess my one critique, and it's not really a critique of anything specific about the game. It's more of a critique as to JJP as a company. Um, JJP really hangs their hat on lighting. They're proud of their lighting. They're proud of their mastery of lighting, and you know, cool. That's great. We do look at the lighting, um, and they are vastly superior to every other manufacturer in lighting. My problem is, and it's always been a problem with JJPs, is you don't know what to shoot, and it's a problem when you're playing pinball with a complex rule set if you don't know what you're supposed to shoot. Now, if you look up at the LCD screen, which I do because it has information there that you need, but not every player is going to look up there when they play, and that's just the reality of pinball. But the other thing that's kind of the Achilles heel that exacerbates that issue with JJP games is JJP's like, you can do all the things at all the time at any time. So you start out with just a mode, and maybe it's decipherable on the playfield. You just have a mode going, or I guess they're called a term. So you just have those shots. It's like hit yellow and red shots. Okay, well, why does it have to be yellow and red? Why can't they just be yellow? And yellow signifies a mode shot. Uh, Novel concept. My big brain came up with that. Um, but then you bring a multi-ball in, and now all of a sudden there's multi-ball shots that are all over the field. So now there's another color, and I'm not sure if the multi-ball shots have a specific color in mind. They might. But you still have to remember, okay, my mode shots are yellow and red, and my multi-balls are green for this multi-ball. Oh, but I started another multi-ball, or I started this other mode that I have to find the snitch or whatever. Stitch? Snitch? I don't know. Lilo? But you have to find all this stuff. So then all of a sudden it just becomes this color puke all over the playfield. And it's not even being negative for the sake of being negative. It's just a legitimate issue. Now, does JJP have to stop doing all the cool lighting effects? No. What they could do, and this is a suggestion that will make it nowhere outside of me in this YouTube video and the fives of people that watch it, but JJP could, novel concept, you start a multi-ball. It goes through, it holds the ball somewhere. It goes through its elaborate lighting thing, like, oh, look, we're JJP. Look how cool our lighting is. Look, oh, we use negative space where there's no lighting, but it creates shapes, and it's cool. That's fine. Do that at the beginning of something, like when a big moment happens in the pinball game, and then someone can admire your mastery of the wizardry of lighting, and that's fine. But when the stuff starts, tone it down. It's okay to only have two lights on JJP. If there's only two shots I'm supposed to hit, light those up. Maybe just make them one color, like your mode shots are yellow. I know you got RGBs, so you could have, okay, on this mode, all my shots for the mode are yellow. Next mode, it's green, whatever. And then your multi-ball jackpots are red, and they're always red, and you'll always know what they are. But I think they just try to give you all of the lighting all of the time to just demonstrate how much more lighting they have. And I think it's one of the biggest drawbacks to their games. It makes it so frustrating to play a game and you're just lost in the sauce. For some people that's not a problem, but people that actually want to learn their games and actually learn what they're supposed to do, it's very frustrating to have such a hard time to master. Like, you basically have to memorize modes, and like, okay, these are the shots for the mode. I have to memorize them because I can't remember what colors they are, because right now that all the shots are blinking 9 different colors at me, and there's about 47 lights that are also blinking right now. So that went on way longer. It's not JJP's only issue. Code, they're starting to go the way of Stern. Ooh, look at that. Aw. They're starting to go the way of Stern, where they're putting games out with less and less finished code. Whereas, like with Stern, I'm whatever. Like, does the pace annoy me that it takes a year to get to code complete? Yes, it does. But will Stern finish a game? Yes, I think their track record shows that they will get the games to a finished state. Whether or not it's finished enough for some people, um, debatable. But are all inserts coded and all features in the game? Yes. Is it exactly how you personally want it? Probably not. Can't please everybody. But we'll play another game of this, and then I'll complete my soapbox that I'm hopped up on for some inexplicable reason. But JJP doesn't like they used to submit or they used to put games out that were pretty much all the way done for the most part. Maybe minus like the final wizard mode, but you would pretty much get a pretty complete game from the start. But now the code seems to be getting a little bit more lean with the release of Harry Potter. Obviously, they wanted to get that game out there with their last few games probably not being exactly where they would want them sales-wise. Godfather took monstrous hits on the second-hand market and the value. I mean, you're seeing the CE that was 15K go for in the low nines, maybe even in the eights. Some have sold. So that's. I don't expect them to protect the full value of the pen, but you can't have a significant drop like that and not try to do something about it, which I think is why the arcade edition came back for Harry Potter, just to give a little bit of levity. But all that negativity aside, because that was a lot of negativity, but it's just like a big frustration. Everyone has their own frustrations, and I don't think it's ever going to change. But I think that boiling it down to one point is less is more sometimes. Like, you can still do your ridiculous lighting, but you have to tone it back, because when everything is supposed to be a moment, nothing's a moment. Like, if everything's supposed to be spectacular, then it's just ordinary, right? You have to have these specific times where you really leverage that superior lighting to create a pinball moment. So that's pretty much it. While I was up there, they did have an Evil Dead. So anytime I see an Evil Dead, I'll go play it. But like Evil Dead, this is not in the same vein as lighting, but if we're talking about pinball moments, something that sticks out is the start of that cabin multi-ball. Like, it's perfectly executed for how it builds that up in the game. It builds it up so well. Like, you start out with her freaking out, and then her screams get progressively more and more loud, and then eventually it crescendos at the end, and she's like screaming her head off, which is, it's a moment. Like, you feel something in that moment where you're like, wow, and then like at the crescendo, it releases your balls to start the chaos of multi-ball. Like, you feel that part of it. So kudos to Spooky Pinball for killing it on Evil Dead. And good luck to everyone that's trying to get one, because they're impossible. Some people are being absurd with their second hand. I'll give up my Evil Dead if you give me, an extra 3K on top, and just not willing to do that. But it is definitely a really good game, and they're already putting their interested list out for Evil Dead, which is fun. Or not interested for Evil Dead, but interested list for their next title, which hasn't been announced. So basically, it's like, do you want to get on the interested list for the game that we haven't announced, because we're riding the wave that is the Evil Dead wave of awesomeness? But it was bound to happen. I don't even think they're midway through their production run of Evil Dead, and they're already trying to get people on the line. Well, not really the line. I'm not sure what Pinball Star and everyone else that's accepting the pre-orders already is, well, what the terms of that are. Like, if it's announced, can you back out of it, or Um, or is it just that? Is it just an interested list, and then when it's released, they go ahead and take deposits? I assume if that's like Flippin' Out's doing it, that's how they did it. That's how they did it with Potter, I think, is they gave you an out until it was officially released, and then you could decide, nah, I'm good, after you've seen the gameplay. Alright, this is the last game for Eye of the Tiger while it's in my company. So we'll try to make it a good one. But yeah, those are just some of the pinball thoughts that were bouncing around in my head, and, you know, I started this streaming thing, and I was like, what am I going to do? Because EMs don't have a bunch of music and a bunch of call-outs and stuff for you to... Even the solid state version of this doesn't have a whole lot going on in terms of volume, so like I'm going to have to talk a lot and probably say a bunch of stuff I shouldn't say. But I have no interest in any of this. I'm not gonna hang my hat on it like some people where they're like, I am just completely unbiased. I cannot be bought. I don't really care about any of that. I'll just say whatever I think, and if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't really mind either way. Won't hate you for it. But just some of those things that I was thinking, it's, you know, get it out in the world and see. Maybe some other people feel that way, or, you know, someone else was thinking about it. It's not like a controversial take that I'm giving on JJP lighting. I think pretty much everyone's kind of said that. It's like, it'd be great if I knew what I was shooting at. And they still keep doubling and tripling down on all the lights all the time, all the things all the time. And I'm not even saying they have to change the rules to where you can't stack everything, because I do enjoy stacking. I do enjoy stacking things and putting things on top of things, but I also believe that you should have some things stand alone, because that is the pinball moment, right? It's why on Jaws you have the shoot, kill it now, and you have the countdown, right? You have a countdown because that's a significant moment where you're trying to progress in the game, and it creates a pinball moment, and it's fun. And you remember that, and you have fun with that. But this, I'm not. This is it. This is the last one. I love Eye of the Tiger. I love Sinbad. I think of the two, if we were doing a quick comparison, I'll try to keep this game going so I can actually get through it and not start another one. Gosh, Eye of the Tiger is not cooperating with that plan. But I kind of like the solid state version of it a little bit better, because I like the bonus, the way the bonus is tied to the multipliers. So you get the first target down, you get 2x. You get the 2 bank down, you get 3x. You get the 3 bank down, you get 4x. And so on and so forth. But other than that, I think they're both pretty much the same. I think the back glass for Eye of the Tiger is way cooler, and the name is cooler. Not that Sinbad's lame or anything. It's not as... but I think I prefer the solid state version. And I think that there's an ultra rare version of Eye of the Tiger that's actually 4-player too. I'm not sure how many of those there are, but I can't imagine that it's a great deal. But hopefully someone's enjoyed this long rambling rant. I found a way to record EMs and hopefully make it interesting, at least for somebody out there. But if anyone has any comments or suggestions on future content or games, please just let me know, and I'm receptive to ideas and feedback. Most of the fun of this is actually I think we got all of them down. We did. Look at us go. Finally did something on Eye of the Tiger. It only took all night. So you can see that the drops don't reset, so at some point it just becomes like I have to farm the spinner and max out my bonus. But then at that point you really are just going, I think, up the return lane and trying to go back up top. So I think we're maxed out now. I think that 10K light's just out. Almost scissor herself, but see, there's nothing else to really hit there. Drop targets are down. They don't reset on the EM, but you saw me play about a handful of games, maybe a little bit more, and we never got all the drops down. So it's not like it happens like, oh, I got all the drops down again. As I say it, I'm already progressing past the first 2 sets of drops. But it's not something that's going to happen all the time. Like getting all the drops down on Sinbad or Eye of the Tiger is a significant pinball accomplishment. So, because everything resets, every ball, you start over. Oh yeah. That was agony and then pure pinball love. Love that. All right, so we're on our last ball, so we're going to end it after this. Try to make it a good one. Build this bonus up. Get these drops down. Still need that single drop, so we have 3 more drops to get down. We're not going to get those down. But hopefully you enjoyed this side-by-side comparison of Eye of the Tiger and Sinbad. This is Pinballs versus Pinball. Hoping that you all have a great rest of your week and enjoy your weekends. Take care.